What's up, ladies? What's up? What's up? Today, we're so excited for day 1 of 2, teaching you really how to get to that level of tone that you keep wanting to get to and are confused why you're not there yet. So this is going to be a 2-day masterclass experience like I was sharing. And day 1, Coach Sierra here and I are going to be talking through physique shaping, your lifting routine. And then I'm going to talk through the person who feels like they need to be perfect or stay in the house and just not really be social to experience incredible results, which is not true. And then tomorrow, Coach Shelby is going to talk even more about nutrition and just teaching you precision strategies, which really make all the difference when it comes to getting to that like 1% physique, right? That next level physique. And then Ashley's going to be talking through the becoming. I think we know this is a huge piece that is missed in this industry, where it's like women are like, oh, I just need a different plan. I just need this. I just need this. It's like, hold up. There's this whole mindset piece that is not being addressed. And that piece is really how you maintain your results forever. And then I'll be going on and sharing a few special things that we have going on. This month is our 5-year anniversary for Queens of Iron. And so we always do this masterclass and have fun things for you. So without further ado, let me pass it over to Sierra so she can talk to you about lifting, and then I'll see you soon.
Well, hello, I am Coach Sierra, and I am so jazzed to talk to you about one of my most favorite things in the entire world, which is physique shaping. Especially if you're someone who's been showing up in the gym consistently, lifting weights, pushing yourself, tracking your macros, maybe even doing workouts that you're like, these are so hard on paper, right? But your body's just not really reflecting the work you're putting in. If that's not you, this might actually be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed, because you're not failing, but you are truly missing something. And because just showing up and getting through your workouts isn't going to be enough to really sculpt and shape the physique you want. The one that, feels really strong and sexy, the one that turns head when you walk in the room, the one that feels like home when you look into your mirror every single day. Because let's be real for a minute, you're driven, you're hardworking, you are the woman who is out there doing everything. You show up for your work, your family, your friends, your workouts, and you hold yourself to these standards that you're like, I'm ready, let's go. So you don't half-ass anything, and you don't need someone to motivate you, right? You're going to the gym, you're working it. But despite everything, you still feel a little stuck. Your clothes might feel tighter than you want. Your midsection might feel a little bit more soft, even though you're eating super healthy. Maybe you feel really strong, but not sculpted. And you're wondering, what am I missing, right? So drop an emoji in the chat if you are feeling like that, where you're doing everything right, but still not seeing the changes you want. Because let's talk about it. One of the problems we see is that your workouts aren't actually aligned with your goals. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You're not actually training for physique change. You are just working out. And what does that really mean, right? What does just working out mean? It means that you're training your body to be strong, healthy, fit. And that's not a bad thing at all, right? Movement is so powerful. HIIT, boot camps, F45, Orange Theory, random workouts, bro splits, cardio. They will definitely leave you exhausted. They will leave you spent. They will build muscle, but they won't necessarily put that muscle and shape it where you want it. Because shaping your body, when I'm thinking about that, I'm like sculpting the glutes, toning your legs, tightening the core. It's not about random workouts. It's about strategy. It's about training on purpose. And that's what we call physique shaping. Because one of the things we see, another problem, is hard doesn't mean effective. And I think we've been conditioned, and even if you are all over social media, you've probably seen lift heavy, right? Lift heavy. And if I'm lifting heavy, it must be working. But if your workouts aren't including these things, and I'm sure you've heard of them before, progressive overload, full range of motion, tempo, proper rest between sets, actual intensity versus kind of rushing through the movements and moving on to your next like exercise, being really specific and strategic with exercise selection, you're probably spinning your wheels. Even if you think your form is really good, if no one's checking on it, giving you feedback, you might be leaving gains on the table. I've even seen this with my own clients where I'm thinking of examples of hip thrusts for like, I know the ladies, like we all want to build our glutes. Most of us want to build our glutes. And, they're like, I'm feeling this in my quads or my low back. And it's like, but I'm lifting heavy. And it's like, well, we're not actually even putting the work where we want it in our glutes, right? If you're feeling it in your quads and you're feeling it in your low back, we're working different muscles. And we might be doing that without even realizing it and keep pushing more weight and pushing more weight. And we're never actually building our glutes. Seriously, I've seen that multiple times with clients. And then we lower weight and we really nail form and we are golden. Sometimes I see like half reps and we don't even realize we're doing those half reps or using the same weight or the same program for months and months on end. You could also be training with really beautiful form, but not the form that's really going to isolate and grow your muscle. And you could be, like I said, lifting too heavy with no mind muscle connection, or you might be just leaving tons of reps on the table. And a secret I will share with you, if you aren't questioning your weight on rep 2, we need to talk about your weight that you're using. Or if you're feeling your muscles burning and you stop, girl, I bet you have 3 to 5 more reps left in you. Because this isn't about doing more, not more cardio, not doubling down on your workouts. It's not that you're not disciplined because, hello, you're showing up more than most people ever do. But this is where effort alone is not enough. And there's that difference between being really busy in the gym and being strategic, right? And this is where it's going to determine like if we're seeing that plateau or if we're really seeing the changes that we are working so hard to build. Because even if, like, one thing that I like to think about is even if your workouts are solid, your nutrition might also be the missing link. And I'm not going to go into that because Kristen and Shelby are going to talk so much more about that and really building that for your lifestyle. But if you aren't having macros that also align with your goals, it could be throwing your training off as well, because that is what is going to make real change in your body, right? It's not about burning more calories. It's about training with intention and intensity. It's about sculpting the body, shaping it, and strategic exercise selection. And I want to share one of my lovely clients, and you're actually going to hear from her mouth later on. And I want you to understand, like, there was a time she was losing time and muscle, right? So let me tell you about Arletta. She was actually really shredded when she came to us. She's leaner than most women would dream to be, but she actually just hated how she felt in her clothes and in her body. She actually felt like small, but jiggly. And something that she told me even the other day was like, she just felt super manly. It wasn't the look that she was like working so hard in the gym for. And it was like, she's pushing herself. She's doing these F45 workouts, but it left her feeling just not confident in her body. And the biggest problem we saw was her training wasn't focused on physique shaping, right? She had random workouts that were yielding random results, and her body was just running in circles, even though she was working so hard. And when we switched her to physique shaping, and that's why like I said, one of my favorite things in the world is because, once we started really honing in on her goals and really honing in her program to fit that, her body started to grow, her lower body started to shape. We dialed in her nutrition. We focused on actually building the shape, and it started to click. Her curves came in. She's even more shredded. Her husband actually told us the other day, thank you. Thank you. But it's not just that. Her confidence shot up. She told me the other day that she just it changed her life because she is a totally different person than when she came to us. And when we look at that, it's like she feels so not just strong, right? But she's feeling sexy and confident and powerful in her own skin. And that's when we were able to get rid of F45 completely. And we're able to now make progress even in her maintenance phase. We've lost centimeters. We have actually built up her maintenance calories, all while going through perimenopause. And I think the coolest part is, Arletta and I have been chatting, and we are going to start prepping her for a bikini competition in 2026. So we keep getting to push these ceilings, push these new places, and do something that she's never felt like, nah, she's thought about it, but she's like, right. And she's like, no, I'm doing it. And it's those kind of pieces that I absolutely love with physique shaping, because it starts on the outside, but it's like the internal world expands even more too. And if you just imagine this for yourself, what would change in your life if you felt that powerful in your body? If your training actually finally matched the vision that you have in your brain of how you want to look? Think about that and where that is for you, because the body you want is absolutely possible. You want a more toned stomach. You want to feel confident, like walking into any room. You want your arms to feel like really lovely and toned in a tank top. You want your glutes to fill out your jeans, your core to feel nice and tight when you're giggling. You want the energy, you want the presence, and you want the confidence from overthinking it all. And I always think about this. Are we working really hard just to maintain a body you're not even in love with? Or are you willing to shift into working maybe a little smarter for a body that reflects your fire, your focus, and your feminine strength? And that's all possible, just not by working harder, not by guessing, but physique shaping, right? By letting go of that pressure to figure it out on your own and do it with an intention, intensity in everything you do. Because we know this, you're not broken. You're not doing things wrong. You're just a powerful woman who's already ready for a next level. And we're here to help step you into that. And you deserve that body that reflects the work ethic that you put so much into. And not just with your body, but your whole entire life. Because you don't need to work harder. You just need to train smarter. And when your workouts and your nutrition are aligned, you will be able to quickly see and be shocked at how your body changes, because it's so beautiful when you're living in a body that you are just like, this is my dream body and I love how I look. It's always about that feeling of how you feel living in it. And if that's something that you are just ready for, like maybe we need to chat a little bit more and get you into physique shaping, because maybe it's time that we start giving you that look that you really want. So if that's you, drop the word sculpt if you want to chat more about your goals and getting on physique shaping to really reveal that body. And I am going to turn it over to Kristen, and she's going to show you how your flexibility and your consistency can coexist while helping you find the perfect for you plan.
Thank you, Sarah. Awesome. Yeah, you guys, physique shaping is insane. Really quick story too. So I was about 15% body fat in college. I was an in-person trainer. I taught Les Mills body pump. I was on the Olympic weightlifting team. I was so fit, and I actually felt the same as Arletta. I felt kind of manly. I was like, why don't I really look better? Didn't really feel feminine at all, but I was shredded. And then I learned bodybuilding, and I was like, holy shiz, this is real different. And it's so cool. So beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it's wonderful. So for me, you guys, I'm going to actually dive into some different strategies for you for like when you're eating out, when you're traveling, when you're doing work events, social events, just anything out of the house. Because what we have seen, and we will be talking more nutrition tomorrow, but today we're really talking to the woman where you don't want to go out, right? You feel like I just need to stay in for a while, or I just need to cut out the alcohol, or I need to cut out some of these social events. Notice the key word. I need to cut out, I need to cut out, I need to cut out, right? I need to tighten things up so I can lose the fat, feel really good. Then I can open myself back up again. Then I can have more flexibility again. The problem with that, though, is you're not actually learning the lifestyle tools. You know what I mean? It's like you're eliminating part of the lifestyle to be super fit and to feel really good. But then when you introduce the lifestyle back, there's a problem. Just like on keto, when you eliminate carbs and then reintroduce them, it's always a problem, right? Dare I say, the perfectionism mindset can kind of be considered like a fad diet. It's not, it's different, but it's the same type of thing. It sets you up for zero long-term success, right? So I want to walk you through some different strategies like, okay, when we're eating out, what can we do? When we're going to an event, we have no idea what's going to be there. What can we do? So let's go ahead and dive into that, you guys. All right, cool. Yeah, it's for the woman who feels like she needs to be perfect, right, to see the results. And that is just absolutely not true. The other thing, too, is when you feel restricted, it's way more common to rebound, right? And rebounding is what happens when you're gaining and losing the same weight over and over and over and over. There's different forms of a rebound, different versions, right, of a rebound. But restriction or elimination is just really never the answer. We want to do what's healthy for our body. We want to do what's going to take care of our body, and at the same time, creating a lifestyle that you enjoy forever. That's how you're going to maintain your results long term. And reversing to maintenance to teach your body how to maintain physically. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and talk through eating out. So you guys, sorry, my hair is driving me crazy. We do want some engagement. We're streaming in a few areas, so I know we can't see all the comments, but what I would love to hear is how many of you need help eating out? Or if you like, raise your hand, drop an emoji if you're just like, yeah, that's a struggle for me sometimes. Eating out and being compliant, right? Hitting your macros, hitting your goals, and feeling like you really can have the freedom to go eat out. Let me know if that is you, okay? So some of these tips are common. You may have heard them before. Gotcha. Cool. Thanks, love. Yeah, nice to see you here. Some of these things are common, but it's like we may need to hear them again. And one thing about this lifestyle, ladies, is it's not just, okay, I got it, I'm good. It's actually like execution and then coming back and being like, here's what worked, here's where I still felt challenged. Okay, here's a new strategy. Okay, execution, come back, right? And so it's like, what's up, Summer? It's ever working. You know what I mean? It's not just a one and done. It's like you have to work through the lifestyle, okay? So for eating out, let's say that you had your macros for the day, you're not fully done for the day, and then your significant other or your friend is like, let's go out to eat. And obviously you want to go, you don't want to say no, and it definitely does not fit your macros, right? Dare I say, some of you would say, screw it. Okay, I'll start again tomorrow. Others of you might say no, and others of you might feel a little bit of anxiety and not be able to be fully present during that time because all you're thinking about is food, right? So what could you do in that situation? A couple different things. Number one, it's control your controllables, right? You still want to live a healthy, happy life with connection, right? Social and personal connection. So let's say you're going to go out and you really don't have very many calories left at all, like 300, let's say, for example, okay? A few different things you can do, always you can do, is a really healthy salad with grilled chicken and dressing on the side. When I say a healthy salad, I don't mean, not saying these things are unhealthy, but I'm not saying one with cheese and avocado and bacon and egg. Although some of those options are healthy, that's so much fat and that's so many calories, right? But because it's a salad, we think, oh, it's okay. I've seen women do this all the time, actually. While I'm eating out, I'm like, oh, don't give unsolicited advice. That's what I find myself. I'm like, I know they're trying so hard, but it's such a wrong approach. So find like the carbs, essentially. It's lower calorie, but carbs such as like apples, right? So let's say you do arugula, apples, maybe some walnuts. Yes, that is some fat. So maybe not. Maybe it's a Caesar salad, right? But just something that doesn't have those heavy fat options like a Cobb salad, right? Always dressing on the side, no matter what, no matter if you're in maintenance, no matter if you're in a surplus, no matter if you're in a deficit, It will save you hundreds of calories, and those calories and dressings are not very wholesome. They don't have very many vitamins and minerals. So let's learn to really enjoy the taste of the food, not just the taste of healthy food smothered in dressing. It takes time. Your taste buds adjust and renew every 2 weeks. 2 weeks, which means what you eat is what you crave. Same for our children. What we give them and what they eat is what they crave more and more and more, right? So the more you make these fine-tuned changes of, I'm going to enjoy this salad, or I'm going to enjoy these other options I'm about to share with you, the more you'll start craving those. The less you'll start to crave unhealthy food, and eventually you just won't even like that. And some of you, I think, are already there, right? Some. Okay. So salad, another really great one is you can get like grilled fish tacos or grilled chicken tacos, dressings on the side. It's actually a really clean source usually because it's like tortilla, vegetables, and lean meat. And honestly, even now when I go out and I ask them for whatever it is, if it's not a salad, if it's not something like that, I say, can you please cook it in really, really light oil? And the only feedback I've ever gotten is, but it won't taste as good. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I actually really enjoy the taste of the food itself. I really don't want that much oil, right? And usually what they say is, cool, no problem. It's a very small ask, and those hidden calories are abundant. So just those small things can make a really huge difference. If there's a bunch of chips and salsa on the table, maybe just mentally be like, I'm going to just have 6. I'm going to practice the discipline and just have a few. You can have some, right? But it's just practicing the discipline of moderation in those types of situations, right? Some other great options are just finding, okay, what are my leanest sources of protein on this menu? And where can I get vegetables, right? Those are 2 really good like grounding factors of what should I be ordering. You do not, perfectionists, you do not need to order a plain grilled chicken breast and a side of vegetables, right? We want to live a lifestyle that's really happy. We want, and if that makes you really happy, that's okay. But I challenge you to have more freedom and play and flexibility, right? It's okay not to be perfect because we learn, okay? So let's say that's what happened for dinner, you went over. Let's say this continues to happen on a pretty decent basis. What should you do in the future, right? Do a quick ad for dinner. Can you let me know who has heard of a quick ad in MyFitnessPal? It's beautiful. What you can do is literally, it's a button and you just type quick ad. And then I would recommend for your dinner. So it's just like holding space. It's holding calories, depending how many macros you have. Good, Summer. I'm so glad this is so helpful. But what you can do is put like 30 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbohydrate, and let's say like 20 grams of fat, just as a beautiful placeholder. So as you're doing your macros throughout your day, which is not the best strategy, I'll talk about in a minute, but it's okay. We're all human. So when you're doing your macros throughout the day, you already have that placeholder for dinner. You can get like a solid meal eating out for those quick ad macros, okay? It does take practice because sometimes like when it's right off the bat, we have to go without any notice. We're like looking at the menu, depending how new you are to macros, maybe like more advanced, this might not be as much of an issue, but like beginner to intermediate, you may be looking at the menu and you're like, I have no idea how many macros are in that. Like, what am I even looking at here? You know what I mean? How am I even supposed to guess that? That really comes through precision tracking practice. We say this all the time at Queens of Iron. Only track your food when you're at home in grams and ounces, no cups, no tablespoons, no eyeballing. Some women say, oh my gosh, it doesn't make that big of a difference. And then we challenge them on it and we're like, do it. And then they're like, dang, that made a huge difference. I'm like, I know, because I'm not here to waste your time. We're only going to tell you something that's super effective and that really makes a big difference. When you have time under your belt with that precision tracking, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier to look at the menu at a restaurant or to look out at your friend's house or your work event and be like, okay, I can pretty much understand exactly what's going on here. And then you can make quick decisions of what to fill your plate with. And it's barely a thought anymore. But that takes time. That is a learning curve. But that is the learning curve that we're literally teaching you here, because you do not have to track macros forever. They're an exceptional tool to get guaranteed results and to learn amazing lifestyle habits, to learn how to take care of your body and live in a body that you love. Then you wean off macros. Okay, so these are some of the strategies that we're helping you get to that point. But here's how you get really successful at eating out, essentially. Okay, that's a smidge of a tangent. Okay. Great. Now let's continue on a little bit more. Yeah, girl. Yeah, Jennifer. Huge difference. Yeah, she's one of our clients. What's up, Dee Dee? Hey, ladies. Cool. I use MyFitnessPal, but I don't want to post for it. I think you meant pay for it. I think it's a huge mistake. I say that with so much love and respect. The premium version is a game changer. If you don't have it, you just can never get to this level ever, because you don't know your macros per meal. If you don't know your macros per meal, you're not optimizing, balancing, and spacing your meals, which is huge for health, for hormones, for fitness, for results, for energy. So that's a huge mistake. The other thing is the premium version, you have macros at the top instead of calories, and it's way quicker. So it's like you're not spending as much time going back and forth. So it depends, like basically how big of a priority time is. But macros per meal, if you don't know that, you need to know. Everybody, I said it to everybody, you must know your macros per meal to be taking care of your body the best way, to be optimizing pre and post nutrition, to be optimizing energy, all the things I just said, and definitely results too. Jessica, eye-opening, the difference between grams versus teaspoon, tablespoon, huge, 2 to 3x sometimes. It's like, no way. It's like, okay, weigh it. But yeah, it's so cool. All right, cool, ladies. All right, so now here's the best case scenario with the restaurant is look up the menu beforehand and start figuring it out. Is some of it going to be guesstimating? All of it is, and that's okay. And I know sometimes with the perfectionists, it's like, well, then I'd rather not eat out because I want it to be perfect. It's like, but that's a form of restriction, and that's not the healthiest mental approach long-term. Release some of your control. You can be shredded, see your abs year-round, be healthy, fit, and love the skin you're in year-round, and never have to have a day of perfection, because we're human, right? We're not robots, okay? So it's going to be guessing. So here's a few strategies. Let's say you're getting a burger, right? Look up the restaurant name and the burger, like type it into MyFitnessPal or whatever your tracking app is, and see if it pops up. It's so possible that it might pop up. Otherwise, you can type in like avocado turkey burger, if that's what it is. A million options are going to pop up, and they all have different calories. And so you're like, what the heck? Okay, now I'm overstimulated again. It's like, it's okay. Look at the numbers and be like, okay, what's like about the average? Like what's kind of like about in the middle, and then choose one a little bit higher. We always want to overestimate versus underestimate, because it creates a good cushion for us. And if we're usually underestimating, because that's like normal in the brain, you want to underestimate, that can really pull you out of a deficit or even put you in a surplus, right? A deficit is when you're losing weight. Maintenance is you're losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, basically really beautiful. I love maintenance. And surplus is you're gaining weight, okay? Building muscle fastest, more calories, but you're also gaining a little bit of fat depending on your level of surplus, essentially. So yeah, look that up, and then it's just practice, right? If you're compliant 7 days a week and you're eating out and everything's going up, it's like, yes, that might be accuracy, but actually it might also just be bloat, right? So measurements are key, not just the scale. All right, cool. Yeah, the premium version saves a ton of time. Yeah, Jennifer, I completely agree. Yeah, ladies, and so at Queens of Iron, it's not that like we're obsessed with MyFitnessPal by any means. We use it because our client's workout app connects to MyFitnessPal so we can see their macros, right? So that's why we use that. All right, cool. All right, ladies, what's my time? All right, so let's talk through, so we just talked through restaurants. If you have any questions about restaurants, anything you want clarity on, be that person in the classroom that's like, I'm going to ask the question, even though people might think it's stupid. It's like, heck no, it's not stupid. You can ask the most basic questions. Someone else has it. We've all had it. So please ask. And if I can't see your comments to answer here, I will find them and I will answer. Okay. We're here to support you 100%. There are no stupid questions. All right, ladies. Cool. All right, so let's talk through social events. I'm kind of going out of order with my notes, but let's talk through social events, work events, your friends asking you over for dinner. They don't cook very healthy at your work event. There's like no protein in sight. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, what do I do here? Here's another situation where I feel awkward. Do I eat it? It's not going to fit my macros. What do I do? Okay. The first thing, and this is actually a beautiful strategy from Coach Sierra, is you scan the room. Just kind of look at everything, and it's like, what's available to me? Just kind of take it in as best as you can. What's available to me? Where are my protein options? Where are my vegetables? Oh, there's none. Shoot. Where's my fruit? Oh, there's none. Shoot. Where's my fat? Where's my carbs? Which usually there's abundant of, right? So then, as much as possible, we want to fill our plate with protein and veg and fruit if there is it, right? It's kind of rare. So protein and veg, not super saucy protein, because sometimes that can like eliminate the benefit of the protein, because there's like 20 grams of protein and 50 grams of fat. It's like those meals that you get, right? Those like meal, like online, you get the meals, they're so high in fat. Really be on the lookout for that. But anyway, so just do that. And then small portion sizes, right? I think that's really the best thing to do when you're out, when you're with friends, when you're at work, because you want to be respectful, but not at the expense of your health. And so it's kind of a trade-off of like, okay, is this not okay for my health, or do I just want to hit my macros to see all the results? And if it's you want to hit your macros to see all the results, and of course be healthy, but it's not like a risk, it's not like you're going to die. It's not like you're going to get hurt. Then I would say eat small portion sizes, as clean options as possible, and then move on. It's okay. See where you can kind of make up for it throughout the rest of the day. How would you make up for that throughout the rest of the day, right? Lean protein options, fruits and veg, all throughout the day, just in general. Always start your morning as much as possible with lean protein, not a protein shake, like actual whole foods protein, vegetables, and fruit. It's such a beautiful start to your day. It's a lot of vitamins and minerals. It's fiber to help you be regular, your digestive system, right? You're feeling better. You have more energy. Vitamins and minerals are a lot of what causes you to have good energy, right? So lots of produce and lots of lean meat, lean protein options, egg whites. You can do like veggie egg white omelet with kiwi on the side, for example, right? That was our breakfast actually this morning. But yeah, just things like that. And then, maybe for dinner, it is a higher protein, veg, fruit dinner versus normally, you'd have pasta too, but it's like, well, at my work event or at my friend's house, I just had way more. That's okay. That's part of balance, and that's part of living a lifestyle. You don't have to feel guilty for that. That's a normal thing, right? Not every meal is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be perfect by any means. Okay. So let's not chase that perfectionism. Okay. Again, let me know if you have any questions on that. I know I went through that one pretty quick, but I want to honor all y'all's time. Travel tips, okay? A lot of you ladies travel for work. You travel all the time. And even we've talked to a lot of flight attendants, and it's like, how do I do this, right? So when you're traveling, there's a few different things that you can do. Actually, let me answer these questions. Yeah, do I count all veggies into my macros? Are they free foods? Yeah. There are different strategies that you can do here, Christy. This is a really, really good question. And at Queens of Iron, we say track everything, except not maybe like your vitamins and like hot sauce, stuff like that. But definitely your vegetables, because like peas, you can get like 15 grams of carb pretty easy. And there's protein in there too. And so if you're not tracking your vegetables, you really can pull yourself out of a deficit crazy quickly, like really easily. If it's just like spinach leaves, okay, I can see that's not really many calories. However, it's nice to track, because if you're not tracking your vegetables, how do you know how many grams you've eaten for the day, right? We recommend about 500 grams of vegetables and 300 grams of fruit per day. It's beautiful to track all your vegetables, because then you are tracking your fiber. Because if you're not tracking your vegetables and you don't know how much fiber you're eating, well, if your fiber levels are off, it can make you feel really bloated, it can make you feel constipated, it can cause all kinds of issues. And so when you track all the variables, you have more data to make sound decisions for what your body needs and how it's responding. But if there's all these variables that aren't tracked, you can't make as good of decisions, because you're guessing, right, at that point. So definitely, I would say track it for sure. Okay. So when you're traveling, let's say that you're staying at a hotel, the first thing, number one, when you're looking at the hotel, if you have a say, does it have a gym and does it have a fridge? Like seriously, non-negotiables is what I would recommend for those two. Okay. But control your controllables. If you do not have a fridge, you can go get like a disposable styrofoam cooler. And then normally the hotels have an ice machine. Boom. Now you have a little fridge, right? So when you get there, when you get to your travel, I would say, or your destination, I would say find a grocery store. You can get things so simple. A rotisserie chicken, or some stores have like a container of pulled chicken, right? Beautiful. Now you have a lean meat. Okay, so there's a protein. Let's see what else did I put here. Oh yeah, and then of course fruit, easy fruit, right? Bananas, dried mango, dried fruit, right? Things that you don't have to cut up, apples, right? Things that are just really easy for you to grab, throw in your purse so you can just eat the thing, right? I like bananas because if you're in like a meeting or a conference, you probably don't want to be munching on an apple, but a banana is like so easy and really nice. It's like 30 grams of carbohydrate, right? So that's really good. Nuts, right? You want to get a fat source. You can also get those like packs of peanut butter, those like single serve packs of peanut butter, the Justins. And then snap peas, right? That's a really easy vegetable. You can also get like the hummus, like the little hummus cups. You can get yogurt cups. You can get the mini perfect bars. There's so many things you can do to just stock your hotel fridge with super easy grab and go options that take basically no prep. But oh my gosh, it will set you up for so much more success. And then I personally am obsessed with lean body shakes, like the pre-made shakes. They're 40 grams of protein. I have those all the time. They're in my car all the time. I usually have one in my purse. They're in my fridge. 1,000,000% of the time I travel, they are coming with me because I can easily grab and go my shake and it's 40 grams of protein. I usually have about one per day as a very busy single mother, running a business, training, working on my PhD. I was homeschooling. Like ain't nobody got time for like constantly making every single meal. So sometimes those grab and goes, especially while you're traveling, are such a lifesaver. Okay. We're all about whole foods, but I will say I do often have one shake a day, but otherwise you do want as best as you can whole foods, right? Vitamins, minerals, fiber. Okay, cool. All right. So same thing if you're eating out with coworkers, whatever, networking, you're like, I don't know what's going to be there. Just quick add, right? For some of you, depending how fast you want to hit your goal, it's like if you just want to quick add and do your best, that's okay. That usually is for the person who's more advanced. But if you're constantly traveling, if you're constantly doing the things, maybe for you, your lifestyle isn't perfect tracking every single day, every single night. Maybe the strategy for you is okay to have the quick add for the evening dinner. Let's say you go out to eat every single dinner, but make sure you're being extremely mindful on what you're ordering, dressings on the side, and going back to those restaurant tips, okay? Perfectionist, I know you're like, what is she saying right now? Are you kidding me? But you have to remember that every season of life may require something different, and every woman has a different lifestyle, and every woman has a different version of what a enjoyable lifestyle is for them. There is no one size fits all approach, right? So it's okay if things look different for you than someone else. Like that's you, right? What works best for you? How can you learn to take care of your body best, be most consistent for you, and see the results that you want to see? Because remember, physique shaping is what builds and crafts the body you love. Nutrition is what gets the fat off. If you're using exercise for fat loss, you're missing a huge piece of it, a huge piece of it. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, Rachel, this is a good question. Personally, we do not at all, ever, actually, because the thing is, like, when you really learn how to have a very wholesome diet, and when you're really learning to just eat really high quality foods, it really doesn't matter. Would you agree, Sierra? Like, here.
100%. I think this is where I'm going to just speak on like social media, because you'll see people like fruit is bad. I mean, if you go around social media enough, everything is bad. Like protein is bad. This is bad. Vegetables are bad. But fruit like the sugars that you're getting it's a different type of sugar than like table sugar. It's fructose. So you're getting these beautiful, like fruit is jam-packed full of nutrients, minerals, that again goes back to what Kristen was saying about making your body feel amazing. This is going to be different than you eating a candy bar. Like your body isn't going to be like, and if you're worried about like, maybe like I think about people who might be on the edge of being diabetic or things like that. Don't have a naked carb. Don't eat your fruit by itself. Have it paired with a protein and a fat, and having a well-balanced meal will immediately blunt how like the blood sugar spikes. Yeah. But I think the other thing is there's nothing to worry about. Blood sugar spikes are normal and will happen. It's if they just continue to stay high. Like those are the things that fruit is beautiful, like so beautiful.
I know, girl. I completely. Thank you for that. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that. Thank you. I'm gonna play it back up. Yeah, Rachel, that's a great question. Yep. All right, cool. All right, so now, okay. Here's another situation that may happen where, let's say you're going out for networking or work and there are no healthy options in freaking sight. This sucks. I've been there. It really sucks. And you just have to get super strategic. Like, is there a chicken skewer, right? Sometimes it's like, okay, what is not fried? So it's just kind of taking the most evil and then being like, okay, let's eliminate that evil. Let's eliminate everything being fried. Let's eliminate everything doused in sauce. What do I have left? Oh, shoot, nothing. You just got to pick the healthiest option there and then eat super slowly and eat a small amount, right? And then just move on with your day. But hopefully it's not like a bunch of bar food, right? If it was a bunch of bar food, I think I personally would choose a burger because at least hopefully you get some vegetables on there. It's beef, it's fatty beef, but I mean, it's so good to have iron, right? And then kind of a white carb, but that might be the lesser evil, So if you're in that situation, just do your best, basically, with the skills that I've already talked about before. Okay. All right, ladies, how are we doing? Everybody still with me? Any questions that you have that you want me to go over? Because I'm actually almost done, but this is all about you guys. And so if you want us to talk about something different, like just let me know because we just want to help you and serve you. We've literally been here. That's why we love what we do, because we've been on the other side. We've been where you guys are, right? And that's literally why we do what we do. All right, cool. Go ahead and start commenting those if you have them. And I'm going to move on with the rest of my notes and then I'll come back and answer everything. But I am almost done. Okay. So the last thing I really want to talk through is the weekend. Let me make sure that's the last thing. Yep. It's the weekend, because another issue that we see is, and I think Shelby actually might be talking about this a little, so I'll just give some, but you're pretty strict during the week. And then the weekend, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the weekend. I just need to relax. I just need to rest. I just want to feel comfortable. I just want comfort, right? And you can actually have that all week long, because if you restrict yourself from that, you rebound on the weekend and then you take away your 7-day deficit if your goal is fat loss, right? And so I just encourage you to release your grip on feeling like you need to be perfect. And it's okay if you have some dessert. It's okay if you have wine. It's okay if you have anything you want. It's just choosing a healthy portion size. And a lot of people say, but if I have some, then I'm going to have so much more. And it's like, girl, I hear you. I used to have been there. I binge ate for so many years. That's what I grew up with. It took me 3 years to overcome it. Really intentional work. It took 3 years to overcome it. And it's just practicing your discipline muscle. And a lot of you are like, but my willpower isn't strong enough. And I also get that. And it might not be, right? So in that case, it's like reframes, like mental reframes. And one that really helped me that I hope encourages you is telling myself, I can have more of this tomorrow. Like, it's okay. I am so grateful. So gratitude. And it's not that I'm telling myself no, it's saying you can absolutely have more in a little bit tomorrow. It's okay. And if you start to rise up and be like, but I want it, but I really want it. I remind myself as a mother of a 6-year-old, when I feel that way, it's like my kid having a tantrum. And I'm like, oh, I guess I don't need to do that. It's okay for me to have some tomorrow, right? Or whatever it is, right? The other thing that helps is like changing the flavor in your mouth. Mouthwash, gum, flavored water, a fun juice, something like that can really help. But the other thing I've noticed is that when we're craving chocolate and sweets and stuff like that, usually your body is telling you need fat, right? So nuts, peanut butter, maybe this is a little bit more of an advanced technique. I probably should have not said this, but now I'm already saying it. But it's like, maybe you might need to adjust your fat a little bit for that day, or maybe your cycle's coming or something's going on, right? So you need more fat. So it's not necessarily like willpower of all these temptations. It's reframing mentally, putting a different strategy in, and then also making sure that your body is actually getting the nutrients it needs, because maybe that's just a signal telling you it needs something. But also, ladies, remember, the more you eat something, the more your taste buds crave it physically. I mean, that's literally, right? And so the more you kind of dig your heels in and it's like, no, I'm going to be so grateful for this other option, the more actually you'll start to crave that. All right, cool. All right, ladies. Oh yeah, this is such a good, let me talk about this and then we'll call it from there. So yeah, thank you, Jessica. So I have trouble tracking my family's meals and making them individual. This is so real. And so many of you ladies deal with this. Oh, there's a lot of different strategies, depends on the woman. So let me first talk to the woman whose family doesn't really want to eat healthy. And she's the one turning around and facing the fire. Not that it's her family, but it's the generational, whatever. She's turning around and facing the fire and is like, it's going to stop with me. Okay. But your family still might not be on board. And I always told my clients, one of you is going to break. Don't let it be you, right? Someone is going to go into the other person's habits. Don't let it be you. And so it's just slowly but surely changing things for them. If they're used to cheesy broccoli, a little bit less cheese, and then a little bit less, and then a little bit less, and then a little, you know what I'm saying? Their taste buds will be changing. They probably won't notice it. Instead of cooking with butter, cook with pan spray, or cook with half butter, pan spray, and then a quarter butter, pan spray, and then no butter and just using pan spray. Play with different seasonings, right? Sometimes with my son, it's like, I don't want that lemon couscous. I'm like, oh, I'll make it barbecue. And this seriously happened 2 days ago. And I put barbecue seasoning on it. It was his favorite thing in the world. I'm like, okay, child. Like that's all it was seasoning, 0 calorie seasoning. Not that he needed 0 calorie, but my point for you guys. So that's one thing, is just slowly changing, not drilling in the lifestyle to them, but teaching them through your actions, not your words, but your actions and how you feel and things like that. Like setting the example, leading by example, right? That's actually one of the core values here at Queens of Iron, is lead from the front, lead by example. And then the other thing, what you can do is you can make the same main, but different sides. So like maybe you make grilled chicken thighs with peaches and goat cheese, yum. And then maybe you do a side of mac for your kids, a loaded, or maybe mac for your husband too, or a loaded sweet potato you could do actually a loaded sweet potato for everybody, and then just don't load yours. Just do cinnamon and like maybe a little bit of vanilla extract. You know what I mean? So you can do kind of the same thing, just a few tweaks. You can do tacos and there's sour cream and cheese and all this kind of stuff, but on yours, we don't need sour cream and cheese. Or you can do Greek yogurt, right, for your sour cream if you want that. And like, maybe a healthier cheese or something like that. So it's just, it's not making different meals. It's just being smart about what can we share. And then do I need to add in a salad while they're eating mac, or, can we do the loaded sweet potato type situation? Okay. So those are the two I would go there. And I totally hear you here, Somer. Yeah. So my husband is the cook of the house. So it's hard because he and I are not on the same page with how we want to eat or fuel our bodies 100%. Sierra, I'm going to pull you on for this and see what you think. I'll go ahead and start and say, then I would recommend learning how to cook and making a schedule with him, and you cook half the time and he cooks half the time. Or how can you guys come together and make a solution? What are his priorities, needs, and wants? What are your priorities, needs, and wants? And how can you guys decide together in a way that's coherent for the family?
100%. I think that's really important. And then if there is no real compromise, I think there's that beautiful part where you still have a lot of control. We just feel out of control because it's like, this is lovely that my husband is cooking and that gives me time and things back. But what I personally would do is use like a little bit of time to just food prep. Not meal prep where you're putting lots of things in bins, but maybe having some lean proteins on hand. And it doesn't even have to be crazy, like a rotisserie chicken where you take off the skin and you just already have chicken ready to go. So maybe if he's making something, you can take some of the pieces, but maybe you add like a lean protein instead of maybe he had, I don't know, I'm like, something like that. Because then you're able to say, hey, I'm going to advocate for myself. And just like Kristen was saying, lead from the front with your example, because I'm not joking how many times I'll make something for myself. My husband eats pretty healthy, but like I'll make something. He's like, oh, that looks really good. What are you eating? And it's amazing how quickly people are like looking, at your food and being like, that looks actually pretty good. And you might be like, oh, it is actually really good. Do you want some? And sometimes like you opening their eyes can actually be really beautiful, and they'll start slowly shifting and changing with you, but you can't force it. Like we want to force, we want to push it on them. But a lot of times you have to just lead from that example, and people start to see like how you feel, how you show up in the world. I know that was like my husband with like me. He was like, wow, you just show up differently. And I'm like, well, I feel good. I feel amazing in my body. I feel strong.
That's
I feel
so cool.
And it was so cool to watch him be like, well, I should food prep and meal prep. And so now we do for him because it makes things better. But it took time for him to get on the same level, even though he was working out. He eats, like I said, healthy, but getting him a little bit more like on that page was huge. But having some like lean ground beef or lean ground turkey just in your fridge, ready to go, and even microwavable veg. Like I'm thinking things you could like throw together in a drop of a hat, microwavable potatoes, microwavable rice. You could put a quick meal together with a couple staples in your house, a little bit of, like some sugar-free barbecue sauce. Like you could have a whole beautiful meal, and he can have his too. And so if you can't find a balance, those are some just ideas that cross your way too.
I like your idea of like adding the lean protein. Like, let's say he made lasagna, right? You could do like a small portion of lasagna. Yeah, add some chicken, and then maybe you had like some veg in the Tupperware, then add some veg on the side. Boom. And you're still respecting him. You're eating the meal.
And you're still getting to enjoy the lasagna and have that lifestyle too, because you're able to have a little bit more balance. 100%.
I think another thing that came to mind is I think that some women's husbands are like, oh, you're just on another diet. But I'm not, kind of brush you off.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I pray that you are actually using these strategies instead of doing another diet, because diets will leave you in the same place and often worse. But when you're really learning how to have flexibility and balance and whole foods and still be able to live your social life, they're going to see that. And so I think it's kind of just taking the heat, taking the hits, which is not fun. And you can advocate for yourself, and you're like, oh, not this time. And they're like, oh yeah, right. And I think it's just, it hurts. I know it hurts. But it's just saying, I think it's uplifting yourself of like, no, I got this. And then show them, don't tell them.
I like to say, like, I can have anything. Like I was a binge eater too. And something I always did was like, I can't have that. And the more I told myself I can't, the more I became the inner rebel toddler that was like, I need this now. That like when I told myself, hey, you can have this. And then it's like, okay, well, you tell them, hey, I can have this. I'm just choosing not to, because it also lets them know I'm not on another diet. This is actually something I'm choosing for me, for my body, for my, like, I feel, like I said, I feel good. And when we feel good, we radiate that. And so sometimes just letting people know, I use that at like social function. They're like, oh, you're not going to eat. Oh, why aren't you eating this? And I'm like, oh, I can. I'm just choosing not to because I know it's not going to make me feel good. And they're like, oh, and then they leave me alone. They don't bother me at all.
That's so good. I'm choosing this.
I'm
And
choosing
we
this.
are.
Power back in your corner, right? Versus like, oh, I can't. Now the power's off of you. You're putting the power on food or circumstance or other things. If you're saying I can, I'm choosing. Now you're back in the control seat. You're powerful. Like you're coming from a place of like, I'm actively choosing something that's serving me and my goals.
Yeah. Jessica, I love this. Yeah, it was a recipe I made. I have to see. I'm pretty sure I saw the recipe book. But it was so good. It was grilled chicken thighs with, I'm pretty sure it was that barbecue seasoning, maybe a little bit of the sweet heat seasoning, grilled peaches, and goat cheese and arugula, all sitting on a bed of arugula. Super good. You can even add couscous if you wanted. You could add a piece of grilled sourdough, put that goat cheese or burrata, and then the peaches on the, I'm hungry for lunch, on the sourdough. But that's great. You know, I'm actually here, let's pull up Miss Robin. So my issue is perimenopause. I just can't get rid of the belly fat. And when you look at the supplements and hormones, what actually works and what's useless. Yeah, let's talk about this one. Robin, this is so good. This is so normal. I mean, oh my gosh, I hear this actually multiple times every single day. And like one thing Sierra said to our client channel the other day was supplements are just that. They supplement your diet. They supplement what you're doing. They're not the fix, right? 100% Robin, if you get on the right macros for your body, and I will always say physique shaping because I know how powerful it is, but lifting in general, but physique shaping will actually get you to where you want to go, right? But definitely the right macros, the belly fat will come right off. We have had countless women say, I can't get the belly fat off. I'm working with in-person trainers. I'm doing all this stuff. It's not coming off. I'm like, there's a kink. Like it's not your body. There's just a kink in your plan. 100% of the time it works. Like it works. You just need the precision. Like I was talking through today with the nutrition, and Shelby will talk more tomorrow on different topics, you guys. Precision nutrition, but on different topics. So definitely be here for that. It will be so good. But really, if you take all these precision tools with the right macros for your body, I promise you it will literally come off.
It will.
It will. I'm like, there's no other way to say it. It really will.
I think the biggest thing sometimes we have to remember is it does, like, it's not discounting that perimenopause, menopause do add in new challenges, right? Like I talked about Arletta earlier. She is literally in the midst of perimenopause, like hot flashes, sleep, like waking up in the middle of the night. And like I said, we've actually made progress continuing on. Like we haven't gained belly fat. We haven't all of those things. The rules still apply. Like if we're getting more belly fat, then there's something off with your nutrition macros. We could be eating in a slight surplus. And so it's that moment of realizing we might have to be a little bit more precise than we had to be in the past. In the past, we might have been able to get away with a little bit more. I know that like I was able definitely when I was younger to get away with more, right? I could maybe be a little bit stricter on the weekends or weekdays and a little more fun on the weekends and still like see progress, but your body doesn't like all those shifts and changes like that. So the more you can build a consistency and really just be aware of like habits, actions, things like that, and looking at like nutrition is probably going to be your biggest driver paired with lifting. Those are going to be the pieces that truly make the changes you want. Like the rules don't change for us. It's just, we have now more variables where we might be more tired or exhausted and hungry and things like that, that we have to be able to have more tools to work through those times of your life.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. It's definitely not discounting how much your body changes. Your body definitely changes, but it's not causing you to not be able to lose fat. It's just your plan now needs to change because your body's changing, right? Yeah, so these are two of our clients. So Dee Dee, I lost 20 pounds after menopause with the free Queens of Iron calculator. That's so cool. You guys, that's available to you. If you want that, just comment calculator. I'll send that over to you. It is totally free. And it really does work actually really well. Now, it is a calculator, right? So it's not exactly for you. So there may need to be some changes, but we've heard hundreds of times. Women really do have a lot of success with that free calculator. So we're happy to send that to you. And then, yeah, Jennifer, yeah, she said same for me, but this program, like she said, having the right macros, it literally works because you are unique, but your body isn't fat loss resistant. And if it is, then a tweak in your plan needs to change, right? It's like maybe you need more recovery. Maybe you need less, like actually Arletta. So Arletta actually started with me. She was my client first for a long. She was enrolled for so many years, which I love. I love it so much. Dude, she was doing it was like 17,000 steps every day or something like that. Plus she was lifting. We started doing half F45 and half physique shaping. And then she was like, I love physique shaping. Screw F45. I'm done with that. I'm like, yeah. But like her body was just not recovering. She was having all this sciatica pain. And I was like, girl, tone it down. Like, let's just tone it down. Let's pull some of this activity off. Let's do less is more. Everything got better. She felt better. Everything's better. She's like, okay, now I can go back to my steps. I'm like, no, let's not go back to that. More is not always better. And it's okay. And it's like hardwired into us. I need to do more. I need. It's like, no. Actually, here's a personal example. My esthetician, I was like breaking out and I was like, I just need more acne medicine. I just need more reps. She's like, actually, I'm going to take like 5 of these away and we're going to do 1. And I was like, 1? I'm going to look so gross. It's going to be horrible. Not 1 breakout since it's been like 6 months. I'm like, oh, less was more. It's really the same thing. Not all the time, but our bodies need to recover. We've had women say, I never take a day off. 7 days a week, I'm doing something. I'm like, whew, girl, that's working against you a lot because you're not letting your body grow or build. You're constantly breaking it down, putting an immense amount of stress on it. And you're wondering why you're not reaching your goals. You need to do less. And it's like, what? I'm like, okay, let's break it down step by step. Cool, ladies. I see you all for this calculator. I will absolutely send that over to you. You bet. Amazing. Any other questions that you guys have for today? Please comment them. We'll answer. And then tomorrow, make sure you're here, same time, same place, 12 p.m. EST. It's our final day, so it's today and tomorrow. And like I said, we'll be talking through more nutritional strategies, but different nutritional strategies. And then we'll be talking through a lot of the becoming. And that's just such a huge mindset piece that is missed. And so we really want to bring that up. Got you, Amberly, on the calculator as well. Sarah, anything else you want to add for today?
No, I don't think so.
Cool.
We had some good things pop up. Good questions.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for commenting and being engaged and being here because we're here for you, right? If you weren't here, like we'd be talking to no one. So we're so grateful for you. I hope this was really, really helpful for you. Got you, Danielle. Hope this was really helpful. And we hope that tomorrow too will be even more helpful for you. So have an amazing day. Feel free to shoot me a message anytime on Facebook. I'm always here to chat and help guide you and ask questions to help you get more awareness of what you need and things like that. So beautiful. Okay, ladies. Well, that's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.